as we talk or look at people who have, and of course, I always think of this because we look from the grants perspective. I'm always working with folks who's, maybe they don't have small budgets, but maybe for their department, their budget has been tapped into a little bit too much and it's taken something away from them, or they just haven't gotten the resources that they need.
Right.
When we're looking at the difference between segmentation and zero trust, one, how big is that of a lift to get from segmentation to zero trust? And two, can you utilize segmentation if you don't feel you have the resources in place? Maybe it's just staffing and finances to go to a full ZTNA model for your network.
Right. Yeah. So you could actually go straight to zero trust, and here's why. So that same VPN client that I'm using outside of the network, I can also use inside of the network. Okay. So the nice thing about it is when I fire up my whatever device it is, when I get within my four walls and I'm attaching to an application in my data center, there's going to be a firewall somewhere, right? And so there does have to be some sort of segmentation for this to work, but that same VPN tunnel is being nailed up whether I'm inside or outside. So it's the same, user profiling, device profiling, and application access granted. Same exact rules whether I'm inside or outside. That's the real difference between zero trust. Where segmentation, you can do it just based on policy and user access, which is good enough for a lot of organizations. But if you're going on and off the network, like today's hybrid user is, you really need something that gives them the same without doing anything different, because they don't want to do something different without doing anything different. So yeah, there's always going to have to be some sort of segmentation done before you can do a really good job of zero trust access, but it probably doesn't have to be as stringent.
And is there, at least on the segmentation side, because that process is, like you said, it can be very time consuming, and I'm sure, let me not make assumptions. Is asset identification step number one in segmentation? Is that something that, where technology is today, is that something that's just generally, automated and done for that department, or is that something they need to do manually before they go to step one of segmentation?
It's a combination of things. First, you need to know what you're going to segment, and then I recommend deploying a NAC. And the reason is we can do a lot of asset identification in our firewall natively. Our fabric, which is really amazing, and as far as I know, we're the only ones that do this at the level we do it. We profile most IoT devices right in our firewall natively. But if you want to really do it well, you can deploy FortiNAC, and it will automatically go out and look at all your different network segments and tell you what's on those. And then you can use that report to help guide you with how you want to do your segmentation. Obviously, OT networks would be the lowest hanging fruit. It's a reality. It's a shocking one, but there's a lot of OT networks that are attached to IT networks, right? It is what it is. And we're here to help with that. And so that's a really good question. Yeah, you really need to know what you're going to do, and then you probably have to be able to do some sort of profiling to make it work. Because when you turn this thing on, you don't want to break something, right? Mm-hmm. So the more information that you have up front to be able to help you plan with this, and that's where we all come in, right? We can help our customers, get to that.